Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Clarissa.
And... Yep.
Eric.
Caitlin.
Lauren.
And Matthew.
And Matthew. Nicely done, guys. So we are back through the breach. We are building some... we're going to build some new characters. We're going to finish building some characters. We're going to get through all of that. And hopefully, by the end of the night, we're going to get to flipping some cards. Right? So that's the goal. Before we get started, do we have any announcements? Specifically, tomorrow night is the Archives. So check out that show where we will be talking about our D&D 5e high fantasy game. Eric and Matthew. Nope. Megan. Eric and Megan. There's an Eric on screen now and an M name.
Not this Eric. Different Eric.
Messed me up. Different Eric. Different Megan. Same Megan. Different Matthew. They're better at talking than I am. You should watch that. So,
that would be why they have the talk back show.
That is true. That is very true. That is why they do it. So, is there anything else that we need to go over before we jump into the adventure? Let's do it. All right. So, this game is Through the Breach. It is based on the Weird Games MALIFAUX, which is an alternate history world filled with magic and in a dimension separate from our Earth, which people travel to literally through the breach, is a world filled with soul stones infused with magic. And from that, they have created many steam devices and mechanisms, and some have become necromancers and others full-blown mages. And a despotic yet oddly useful at times guild runs MALIFAUX City, and our heroes are known as the Fated. They are heroes capable that have been given a destiny, but yet are capable of twisting fate, bending it to their will, albeit in a limited fashion. So, last week we had flipped up some crossroads, right? Of the five card pattern for some characters. And we have one new player tonight, so we got Eric. I'm going to go ahead and flip his full crossroads, and Matthew and Eric are going to take a step to the side and start to dig through that. And then with Clarissa's expertise, because she has a fully made character, we're going to help Blondie and Caitlin wrap up some of their stuff. And then we'll try flipping a couple of cards, right?
You're a Ravenclaw, aren't you?
Me?
At Clarissa.
At Clarissa.
No, man, I'm a Hufflepuff.
That was honestly my real guess for you, knowing you like I do. I was like, but then it was she's already done, and I was like, I'm getting some vibes.
But it's the hard work part.
I was gonna say it's the exactly, because things you're passionate about. I feel like Hufflepuffs still work hard at things that they don't like. But like, I think
we are also, intelligent beings.
Wonderful. No, I know. I love Hufflepuffs. Genuinely, no shame. I'm flattered when people think I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm not, but like, I'm flattered, and I kind of wish I was.
What are you?
I'm a Gryffindor. In every test I've ever taken.
Yeah.
I'm a Gryffindor Hufflepuff swirl with Ravenclaw sprinkles, if the division ones are to be believed. So, yeah.
No division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slytherin represent Slitherclaw hybrid house, but I love all houses. So, there you go.
Well, I mean, the rest of you have to finish that off now. I mean, we gotta know, fam.
Matthew?
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Just with lots of Ravenclaw. Like, just lots of it thrown in there.
I will. I'll let people guess if they would like to from their impressions of me.
Slytherin.
Slytherin. That's what I was gonna say too.
My house is gonna be uncomfortable tonight. I have to go home elsewhere. I have to go to another home. I have to leave.
Okay. No, I am a Gryffindor, any instance in which you which there is like your Game of Thrones house, your Harry Potter house, your L5R clan, like your yes.
Only one correct Game of Thrones house, because there's only one house in Game of Thrones that has all good people, and it's the Mormonts.
And she's a badass.
That's all I'm saying. Which is the house I've chosen to be.
Yes, but they're not subscribed to say it. Not everyone. It's kind of more strong when you're a good person in a house full of garbage family members, and some of us have fought very hard to be good people.
So yeah, anytime that there's a quiz or something for it to be like, hey, this is who you are in a fantasy world, I am the most obvious choice. It is. It's just the way it ends up.
A Jedi, a knight, a hero, a paladin.
House Stark,
yes.
Gryffindor.
I will defend mine and Lauren's predictions with this: that Gryffindors and Slytherins are nigh identical. Like they are.
Everything means
They are
things. It is
so fucking close to one another.
I've always been it's why I have very strong puff qualities, is I've always been the houses should just get along, guys. Like, kind of, don't come at me because you're something. Like, my bravery is a very specific, and it's mostly because Tinkerbell is a Gryffindor, and that's me as a person. I die if I don't have applause. Like, it's a very specific niche of Gryffindor I fit into. But, like, I've always been, like, I've had friends introduce themselves and, oh, we're not going to get along. I'm like, did you just decide that because you're a Slytherin? You didn't even let me decide. Who's profiling now? Like, no. Like,
I will say, I think it's a case of we're so similar that we don't like each other, because it's the little subtleties of like intention and I don't know, like the reasoning behind why we do things that make us kind of like magnets to tell each other.
Yeah, that's
but,
the division.
You know, I like you guys, so
We
clearly
like
it's
you
not
too.
the case with everybody.
Matthew puts up with us.
Yeah. Fair.
He tolerates us. He's just very good at pretending he actually likes us as people.
No, that's not true.
Ooh. All right, so I flipped up a crossroads for Eric. So Matthew, if you would jot these down and maybe message with him a little bit, help sort this out. For the first card, we have the Jack of Rams. Second card is the Nine of Rams. Then the Five of Masks. Four of Tomes. Five of Crows. I like the interpretive hand jive happening there. Thank you.
I'll just translate all the decks from now on.
Thank you. That
Yes.
I do appreciate that.
That's what this show is now. There it is. It's the MALIFAUX hand jive, folks.
Perfect. This is brilliant. I want nothing else in life. Goals accomplished.
We've peaked.
We
Oh
have.
no. Like,
This is-
what do we do with the Eric, you look so sad that you can't find the buttons I'm telling you to. His microphone's doing the thing Clarissa was asking if hers does, where it bleeps every time it mutes and unmutes.
Yes.
So I'm trying to talk him through turning it off, but his Discord looks different than mine.
Oh.
And I don't know where to send him. I know where it is. It's in notifications, and then you deactivate PTT, activate PTT, deactivate, push it. Like, you turn those off. But it's not in voice. So, like, it looks different, and I can't help. And
I know.
Looks like there's some discord between your discords.
Boo.
babe, I love you, but I changed my mind. I'm
I have to
marrying
go.
Clarissa.
Well.
I need that energy in my life at all times. I need it at all times. I'm sorry.
I am saddened by this, but I can't say I'm surprised. And I get it. I understand. So.
Get you a man who understands.
Yeah, I get it. It happens. All right. While Eric sorts some stuff out and Matthew lends him a hand. Caitlin and Lauren, where did you guys leave off? How far are you guys along your character building adventures?
The last thing I did was the poem that we put together.
Okay.
And we read our,
Awesome.
our, what is it, foreshadowing the,
The poem, yes.
fate. We read our fates. But that is the last thing I did. And then I put my physical and mental aspects in that we
Yes.
had calculated earlier. And that's where I'm at.
Okay. So let's continue. Babe, where are you? I know you had some restart issues.
Keep going. I'm listening. I need to, like I said, I'm retyping all these things in the thing,
Okay.
and then I'll get back to you.
Okay. Lauren, do you have the character sheet, the fillable character sheet up and ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let's get into that. So the biggest thing here is getting your aspects assigned, and then we will work on getting like skills put in and stuff like that. So you said you did your mental stats. You have your lineup for your physical stats. So where would you like to put those?
For the physical side, for
Yeah.
might, I put my -1. My
Okay.
numbers aren't that great.
That's
for
okay.
all of these. For Grace, I put -1, so she's gonna be clumsy. Speed, -1. And then resilience, I put +3. So she's gonna survive, even if she's stumbling all over the place. For an acrobat, too. That's gonna be great.
Well, the nice thing is you do get the chance to sort of make some of these adjustments, and so that's gonna really help you out as we get through.
Okay.
So, let me kind of sort through my books. Okay. So with your mental and your physical stats established, we move on to your base skills. And base skills are the ones that you had as you grew up. So these are the things that you learned growing up in I would say you grew up in Earth. Everybody grew up in Earth. Nobody's playing a goblin or a neverborn. So, grew up in Earth. What was your station card? Out of curiosity, like what was your where'd your parents come from?
Nation was acrobat, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Performer?
What? Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said it's funny that I'm not graceful.
So you at least came from circus folk. Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So over here on page 172, we get the list of skills, and it kind of gives you some brief descriptions of what they are. And because you are familiar with role-playing games in general, I think you can figure out kind of what those skills are. What I will say is that when we were doing character building last week, we discovered there are a couple of skills that impact your derived skills, right? Your derived traits. So those are things like your armor class, basically, how difficult you are to hit, which in this game is called defense. Your defense is how hard you are to hit. Your willpower is how hard you are to influence, and your initiative, your wounds, these sorts of things can pull and be impacted, sort of averaged out with some skills choices that you make. And even if you don't take the skill, you're considered to have it at 0. And so if you have a 0, which is higher than your -1, you're still doing better with the 0. But if you wanted to make up for for like having a low grace, which I believe it's your defense is your grace or your evade. Grace or your evade skill. You could put ranks in evade and pick those up. So how many base skills do you have? Like your number spread there?
How would I know?
It's from your
I don't know how.
root. Your root and your endeavor gave you 2 sets of numbers.
The cards?
Oh, wait,
The
hold on. The root, which one? Which root? The root destiny? I have 3 and then 5 ones.
So
yes.
that is...
Or are you talking about your endeavor destiny? I have 3, 2, 2, 2, 1.
So both of the... Yeah, so both of those are going to be... that's how many skills you can pick that you have ranks in already.
So, hold on. So I have 12 skills? Is that
Yes.
normal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of built up so that some people are very jack of all trades. You have a ton of skills and you get like 1 rank in everything. Or some people have like, I've got like 3 skills, but I'm super good at them. So, I appreciate that in the character creation of this game. People end up with very different characters. So those skills, what you want to do now is go through and fill them in on your fillable character sheet, the ones that you choose.
Okay, so I picked 12.
Say what?
12. I picked 12 skills.
Yes, pick 12 skills, put them in there. The rating is the skill number that you have there, so that 3 and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, or whatever the other thing is. And then next to the skill, it will say what aspect is associated with it. You want to put that aspect number in the aspect box, and then you basically add or subtract them together. That gives you the adjusted value, the AV.
Okay, cool.
So you are off and kicking on that. Nice. Yes, Caitlin.
2 things I would like to say. Thank God I wrote this down the other night because I forgot that I could do the 2 points thing, but I wrote it down that during modify phase, I used my 2 points to take might and grace from -1 to 0. So like I did it and I wrote it down so I remembered. I have to go back and find the derived aspect score options because some of them were great and some of them not so much. But I can find those myself, that's fine. But character building wise, like I also think it's fun, like just now, like Clarissa and I, for instance, were talking about we wanted our characters to already know each other. So I specifically built something to be a foil to her because why we would have started needing each other, basically. And it's just like a very interesting way to shift. Like most things, it's built around the skills, it's built around the stats, it's built around like the basics that you have. But I like that here there's a lot more different ways to play with it. It's just cool to me.
Yeah.
I get excited about character building mechanics, and it just like helps flavor the skills, and it helps flavor the choices, and it helps flavor the, if this person and I are like the Vax and Vex thing, well, we don't both need to have the same skill set. Why would we? I'm going to hyper focus in this. You're going to hyper focus on that.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to me. I like it.
Nice.
One thing I will note that I also really liked about the way that they did those skills is that you pulled for skills in 2 different sections of your character building. One of those being your root skills, which are basically the things that you were taught from a young age. And the other one being your endeavor skills, which is what you endeavored to learn as an adult. And so for me, that really helped inform what skills I chose for which section in like a, based on my background and kind of the idea that I have for my dude, what would he have learned as a kid? And or as a young adult that he didn't learn on his own or by his own volition, sort of thing. And I thought that was a really interesting way for them to like inject some character into your skills.
Yeah.
Versus just like your class and stuff like that other RPG systems do.
So, Clarissa, what sort of root skills did you grab? I want to keep you involved here.
Yeah, so my character's station is Hermit, which just kind of means her family lived in the wilderness in some form. So I took that as like cottagecore farming. So it was all stuff like wilderness and homesteading. I also did flexible, so she could use flexible weapons because, whips and lassos, and you use those on the farm. Also figured that she would have some doctor healing skills because if you're in the middle of nowhere, there's probably no other healers around. Husbandry, which is animals. I didn't know that word before. And then track. So those are my root skills.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Matthew, what sort of root skills did you grab?
So my station is an Ortega. So I went ahead and chose some things kind of based on that and their history of like being a family that is big into hunting bad people in MALIFAUX. So I took scrutiny, and just to be able to like discern people and if they're lying to me.
Yep.
Acrobatics, just because I'm gonna be tumbling a lot. Interestingly, counterspelling, just because to me it was like MALIFAUX is this world full of magic, and if I'm not gonna be casting the magic at you, I want to be able to stop it from hitting me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then tracking and notice, to be able to hunt things down, and then bureaucracy, just because the family is rife with politics in and out of the family itself. And then flexible weapons, because as an Ortega, my station skill, the one that everybody is taught, is pistols. So I already had a ranged weapon skill that I was going to be given for free. So I wanted to be able to have something melee that wasn't too like, I have a sword, or like I have just a hammer or something like that. You know what I mean? I just wanted it to be a little bit different.
Which is very cool. And actually, you can take your station skill ahead of time and then just bump it up higher, because normally you can only take a station skill up to 3. And I think, or at character creation, you can only take any skill up to 3. And picking it as your station skill might let you bump it above that.
So actually what happens if you pick your station skill, so like if because my root skills were
1 rank and another skill.
1. Yeah, I could choose. I want my dude to have really, really been trained in pistols. So I want it to be a 3 instead of the 1 free rank. So instead you get a different skill at a +1 rank.
Which is cool. Caitlin, what was your station?
Yes, so I'm a constable. I finally got all my numbers back in a row. I got because I have a shit ton of skills that I got so many numbers. All my root skills are 2s, except for 1. And then I got like 6 1s and a 3 in my endeavor skills. So I just dropped everything in an order. I remember for some reason getting an extra, that's a talent. I get to add in a level 1 talent. That's not a skill. It's a different thing.
Talents are different.
Yes. But yes, constable melee was what I was given there. So, but yes. Pairing those up now.
Very cool.
Do you have suggestions? Do you have things you think, do you have things you think I should do or make sure I do? I am at the mercy of the storyteller. I am okay with input. I don't want to just go silent and just be like,
so
yes,
what I have while you guys are sort of picking through this, what I can give you guys a little bit of a glimpse into. One of the reasons we're playing this particular game is because they have Weird Games has published a wide variety of adventures for MALIFAUX Through the Breach, and so there is a pretty interesting list of them, and some of the ones that I'm thinking about having our starting adventure on, and what I was thinking of doing basically was having you guys pick them like jobs, so sort of giving you this brief description and you getting the opportunity to decide what sort of job interested you, basically. So for instance, one of the first ones that I think is going to be made available to you is called Heart of Darkness, right? So, it moves in the shadows. Maud Lucrentino has a problem. She believes that the people she employs to work in her iron mine might be smuggling rock pearls, glittering gems, like a cross between diamonds and pearls, out of the mine, selling them to disreputable jewelers. To investigate the suspected smugglers, the Fated will have to go undercover at the North Mine, posing as miners, camp guards, and cooks. As they begin to uncover the identities of the smugglers, however, they will gradually realize that something terrible stalks the shadows of this isolated mining camp. There's always a little description. So Heart of Darkness is a fun one-shot. Usually it's fun one-shot, location one-shot, or challenging one-shot, or all of the above. So I'm sticking away from challenging for now. So this one is considered a fun one-shot. Some of them are more combat heavy. Some of them seem to be more interaction heavy, right? Social sort of things. And one of the things I really like about this game is the way that they structure their sessions are very much the way we would structure a play. There is a prologue that introduces the adventure to the players. And after the prologue, you draw some fate cards from your twist deck so that you have 3 extra cards in up to a maximum of 5 in your fate hand. And that's when you're allowed to change your pursuit. So once you experience the prologue, you have a basis of information for deciding what pursuit you want to suit up in, basically, going into this.
Suit up in?
You guys are going to be very happy together, and I wish you all the best. So yeah, they give you the chance to sort of pick your character, what you want your character to focus on, and you work on that. And then the other one I was looking at was I was saving this one for later. I'm gonna save this one for later because it is fun and challenging. And I don't want to hit you guys with challenging just yet, but one. This is a cool one that I was looking at doing. The Fated have been asked to solve a heinous murder by the deceased victim. Sarah Burrows isn't sure how she died or came to be the undead creature that she is now, but she wants the Fated to help her unravel the mystery before her fiancé marries another woman. The Fated will have to move quickly in order to gather clues and interrogate suspects before the couple takes their final vows and breaks the heart of a dead woman. So, it's fun little...
Oh, that sounds poetic, though. Oh, man.
It's fun little adventures like that that I think I'd like to run a few of and dive into before we get into... They have some longer sort of campaign stuff, and I'm sure at some point we'll start to develop and build our own stories and adventures. And I really love the MALIFAUX Masters and the character art and people that come with those. So I'll be trying to fold some of that in as much as possible. So hopefully these little descriptions are giving you guys some character inspiration and kind of piecing together where you think about what sort of character you want to have or be or build as you're picking skills.
I mean, literally that is happening in side chats right now. Is like, can we do this? Let's do this. No, the building is happening.
Good.
My computer is fighting me, and I told it to download the Through the Breach on this computer, and it downloaded the Steam. So I was like, Matthew, what page is this on? And he was like, this. And I was like, no, it's not. That's a lie. It's the wrong book. Why did it give me the wrong book? So MALIFAUX magic is at work on my computer. Apparently it is a twisted place already. And I'm uncomfortable. Remind me, please, because it is vital to the situation. Station is your current job or what your family did or like where you...
Family.
Good. That's what I was hoping. Because that's more fun. Is, well, my family were constables. I was raised, but now I am just a thieving rogue. Like, or alternatively, I was a thieving rogue and now I am a cop. Like, you know, it's fun to flip.
So, to give you guys a little hint into the conceit for your team, what I am looking at doing is this. So, in MALIFAUX 3rd edition, the new Governor General, Jacob Marlowe, I believe it is, has recently outlawed all bounty hunter and mercenary work within the city of MALIFAUX.
Isn't that what we are?
Well, so the Outcast faction has gone to build a Free Core City, which is their own little like outcast town. And out in the Badlands and in the Pioneer Frontier areas, all of that stuff is still, if not legal, accepted. But what I was thinking was that you guys, through a perhaps devious association with one Lucius Matheson, have a fixer's license or like a PI license. So you vaguely sort of skirt the mercenary work rules. Now, will that keep you out of trouble? Probably not. But I think that's an interesting conceit for you guys to be the people that these individuals are coming to do these sorts of jobs. Because the normal mercenaries that would probably pick up some of this work have been technically outlawed.
Well, and what's because like that's a thing that flavors. It's good to know that that's our idea and that's where we're starting. Because like with the constable station, that flavors the possibility that if there is a skill or a background element or like. So like in Shadowrun, we got contacts. Mm-hmm. If I knew that and I wanted to build, and that was a feature here that I could pull from somewhere of like, well, got connections in the government because my parents are still on the force and they kind of are sometimes willing to turn a blind eye as I'm doing this thing. Like that's a nice thing to know based on the setting, the specific socioeconomic whatever that is happening in MALIFAUX.
Yeah, I think that sort of gives you an interesting basis to work out of. Was thinking I would like you guys to come up with a name. If you don't, I'm gonna name you guys the MALIFAUX Fixers United, so that it's a MFU.
MALIFAUX FU.
Yes.
So that's the one to beat, kids. Unless you're totally okay with it, in which case, embrace the chaos and no judgment from me. I know, Eric, you're just ready to go. He is our ride or die bitch.
I know. He is.
Bless you.
He is tremendous. Some of the other adventures that are on here, the Iktomi Shuffle is a train heist, which sounds really cool. There's the Dead Tide, which is going out to sea and finding pirates and dead pirates that are out there. There's a submarine searching adventure. There's a haunted mansion, a couple of haunted mansion adventures actually. The house that December built, right? There's also, and this one I'm saving for if you all die and you all make gremlins, then we will do, I shouldn't say this, never mind. Maybe we'll do it as a separate character. We'll do it as a separate character. If you die, I'm gonna make you do something else, but don't die. There is a longer adventure, longer Penny Dreadful. That's what they call their adventures, is Penny Dreadfuls. Which is, yeah, it is very cute. So, one called the Bayou Games. Yep. Losing means...
I'm already.
Losing means, well, problem means that you were too drunk and fell off your giant chicken during the jousting competition. A simple mission to recover a stolen device turns into something more, as the fated get pulled into a competition between rival gremlin families in a sprawling bayou bash. So, load your shotgun, grab your best pig, and try to avoid catching fire as you compete in one of the most grueling contests seen in the bayou since the last time this sort of thing happened.
Give me that.
I will immediately get my hat.
Hats required for the Gremlin stream. Everybody just take note. Hats required for the Gremlin one-shot.
Anybody that wasn't watching last week and doesn't know why, it's because traditionally in Gremlin culture, the man with the person with the biggest hat is the leader. So that is, yeah. I just listened to, if you guys haven't heard it, the Through the Breach podcast, which is where they do audio readings of all of their fictions. And I just listened to today the Gremlin General. So last week I told you guys Summerteeth Jones was the leader of the Gremlins. In fact, he is not. And I apologize. They had attempted, with the new Governor General Marlowe kicking everybody out, the Gremlins have become somewhat cautious and decided that they needed to unite, present a united Gremlin front. And so they needed a Gremlin General. Now, normally they would pick the Gremlin General as whoever's the biggest or has the biggest hat. But Captain Zip proposed that they do something the humans do, something called Democracy. And so through the process of Democracy, Summerteeth's simple son, Lenny, a giant who, when drunk, pets his pig too hard and invariably crushes them, was elected as Gremlin General of the Bayou.
Wow.
I am gonna make a bold statement that I think we should have a crossover event where our disasters characters get dragged into Malifaux, because I'd love to see the archivists protect Sirach from these people. Our Aarakocra parakeet, for those of you who don't know, him small and yellow and would absolutely get eaten by these gremlins, and I just want to play the adventure where we accidentally end up there, have this weird, confusing world, and get involved in some nonsense, because it would be wonderful.
So there, speaking of crossovers, and I really enjoy this, the for Gen Con last year, for 2020, they released an update for some of the characters in 1980s cyberpunk style instead of their normal steampunk style. And so they released a Through the Breach one-shot where the characters get sucked into the logic engine and experience the neon glitz and weird geometry of the 80s. So
amazing.
Yeah. How are we doing on skills, kids? Are we to a point we can keep moving? Awesome.
I'm just finalizing a couple and reminding myself what I'd picked. A quick question for you, because I was going to try to look for it, but everything's fighting me and I don't want to slow us down. So I wrote Station Constable Melee. Is that a skill I automatically get?
Yes, you automatically get one rank in that skill. Or if you put melee with like a 2 in melee that you have from your list, you get to pick anything you want for the 1.
For the 1, okay. No, that is good to know. That's why I left a gap. That's why I left a gap there, was so that I could add an extra 1. Thank you.
Welcome. So, after your station skills, Lauren, we are moving up to modify. So, here's what you get. You get 2 points. You can spend them in the following ways. You can spend 1 point to increase an aspect. You cannot increase an aspect above 3 in this way, so you could either do that twice, or you could use the point to gain 2 ranks in a skill you do not already possess ranks in. So if you wanted a couple of skill points, or if you wanted to improve your aspects, you get to do that now.
Yeah, that's when I did those two. So I'd already done that last time, and so I'm just trying to remember what kind of. I am kind of weirdly glad that we discussed the character stuff, and it made me change some of my skills that I had earlier because I like where I'm going now better. But I'm trying to remember what kind of, and I'm just picking half of them new, and then half of them I'm going back to what I had before. So
that, yeah, it makes sense. I find character building with a group is easier, better. You don't walk in with the same sorcerer as your buddy when you do that. Now, what, after the adjustments, we get into first pursuit, right? So those of you that have built your characters, what is your initial pursuit that you guys have chosen? Pursuit in this game being similar to your class, I think is about the closest you can kind of come. Even though you can switch it out, and your character is far more than your pursuit in this game. But Matthew, your chin stroking.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to search through my conversation with Eric to refer back to something else, but I chose Wastrel as my first pursuit because I'm a gambling man.
Yeah, better lucky than good, if I'm not mistaken.
Fuck yeah!
that sounds
Listen,
like
it's only cheating if you get caught. So otherwise, it's just playing the goddamn game. So you know.
There you go. Clarissa, what about you?
My character is going to start off as a dabbler.
Ooh. Now remind me, a dabbler, are they intelligence magic? Or magic can be either intelligence or charm, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sure. I'm not versed in the rules of magic yet, but I'm getting there.
That's okay. We're going to learn them together. We're going to learn how to cast spells together. That is very cool. In the dabblers. So, other pursuits that we have here, and we kind of went through them last time. I'm just going to list them back out to give people a quick heads up.
Thank you very much. We were just discussing that.
Yeah. So,
Good timing.
Academic, definitely based in like knowledge, skills, knowing things. Criminal, experts in getting what they want, sometimes even legally. Dabblers are spellcasters that have harnessed the destructive power of sorcery, right? Drudge are the tireless laborers who are capable of enduring a great deal of punishment. So, grave robbers are spellcasters that have plunged into the study of foul necromancy. Guards are tough and resilient defensive combatants that protect their allies. Gunfighters are...
So that's me, by the way, is guard
You're
for my
go with
first
guard?
pursuit.
Okay.
I looked at the fact that resilience and tenacity were hella high, and that I had the cop background thing, and I went, "Yep, that's who she is. She's Aveline."
Sure. Very cool. Gunfighters are feared and undisputed masters of the pistol. Mercenaries are hired guns that know the true value of money. Don't know how that helps. Overseers are foremen or shop owners that know how to manage multiple workers. So that's a little bit of like a leadership class, sort of giving out help and support, right? Performers are talented at the arts of showmanship and misdirection. Pioneers are hardy adventurers who can survive and prosper in any environment. Scrappers are melee combatants who charge fearlessly into the middle of combat. Tinkerers are spellcasters who focus on creating and animating constructs. And last but not least is the wastrel, a good old-fashioned gambling man. Yes.
I really like my character already, and I have never played this kind of character. I've never played the dumb monk barbarian type before, ever. I've never played the fembo, for lack of a better term. And I'm stoked about it.
You were a barbarian once. We did a one-shot where you were a gnome barbarian.
Red, I remember.
And I kept you on a leash.
I know you did. I'm sure there's something weird and twisted to say about that, but you know, it was the right decision because she was chaos.
She was.
I played a tiny gnome barbarian with wild red crazy hair, and I kept biting people's kneecaps, and so he put me on a leash, and then I was just feral as fuck. And then when the enemies came, he was like, "Red," and he unlocked. Go. the knees, and I just raged on everybody, and was surprisingly effective. I forgot, but like, I didn't have a real personality. I didn't have to worry about talking. I just kind of growled. This is intellect of -3. I have to play dumb and precious and trying to be good and protect people. I'm excited about it. Don't get me wrong. It's just new for me, and she's very excited about it because we were talking about how we met and why, which is why I built this. Because I looked at my skills and I messaged her just because it's fun to look behind the character build stuff. I think that's what tonight is. I messaged her because we talked about knowing each other already, and I was like, "Are you squishy?" And she was like, "How would I determine that in this universe?" And I was like, "Well, my resilience and tenacity are this and this." And she was like, "Well, my tenacity is this. My resilience is shit." I was like, "Great. Did you need a meat shield?" Like, yes. So, and I kind of built around that. I was like, all right, what kind of person's just going to throw themselves in front of a stranger? Has honor, maybe misplaced, is trying to protect the small. Maybe, you know? And from there, I got, all right, which skills would I have grown up with cop parents? Which skills would I have developed as an adult? Which then the picture started to develop of why was I the one learning grappling and martial arts? Was my job to chase people on foot who got away from them because I was small and moved through the crowds easier? Yes, as a kid, that was my job at the station. If they run, you follow them and they won't expect you. We will follow them too, but you can get there quicker. And just
I love the dystopian 1900s like child cop. It's like, yeah, you could be in a factory, lose your fingers, or you could chase down this dangerous criminal and like jump on him like a backpack. So there's, you know.
Well, if my parents worked, it was that or leave me at home alone where there's necromancers and wizards and shit and goblins that pet things too hard, gremlins. Nowhere's safe.
Yeah, tough to beat.
The villain, the criminal that you're chasing probably won't stab you because they'll be so confused. So it's a skosh safer than the factories where you might lose some fingers.
I need all my fingers for cop work. I need them to shoot guns.
Lauren. Oh, go ahead.
Lauren, go.
Oh, I was going to check in with her and see what sort of basic pursuit she was looking at to start.
Oh, yeah, I picked mine last week. I was actually asking Caitlin just to make sure it was in the right spot, but I'm definitely excited to be pursuing the mercenary pursuits.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Acrobatic, you know.
Yeah.
I honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, fam. I'm feeling like already mine is the most law-abiding character here and the least morally loose. And I, Caitlin, am not sure how I feel about that because, again, this is a character type I've never played and the rest of you are going chaos and I am not. And I don't know how to... Oh my god, I'm Porthos. I just figured out who I am. I'm female Porthos, but specifically from the version last night. Okay, done. I know me now. I'm good. But still, it's weird to me that she's gonna be like, are we sure about... Oh, okay. Like, drunk at the gambling, I just pick you up.
So, very cool. Well, I think everybody's got an idea at least for their pursuit, if they haven't picked it already. Derived aspects. How are we doing on these? Do I need to go through them? Do you guys have them? I know 2 of you have them.
I had them last week.
I know you had them.
I would love an overview.
Let's do it. Okay, let's go through them one by one. You guys can do them together at this point, and we'll get there. It should be no big deal. So your defense is equal to 2 plus the character's evade skill or speed aspect. So whichever is higher. And if you have a negative in speed and you have 0 evade, 0 is still higher. So you take the 0. So what are people's evade or what's your defense?
I just picked up the evade skill for my final skill because we were discussing that. So it's a 3 now is my defense.
Great. Lauren?
Is there a limit to how high it can be?
No.
Okay. Well, then mine's a 5.
Nicely done. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get hit. That is awesome.
Holy shit.
Clarissa, what's your defense?
My defense is 3.
3. Nice. Matthew?
4.
4.
I'm a speedy boy.
Nice. So what that means is when you are in combat, right? In this game, the Fate Master doesn't flip any cards for their characters. We look at the character's attack rating, and then they're like a minion or a enforcer, a henchman, a master, or a tyrant. And they get just a flat bonus, right? So you guys will have a 3, a 5, and a 4, and you will flip your card and add that to it. And so you'll be flipping anything from a 1 to, I think the red joker is a plus 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh!
Yeah, so the red joker is a plus 14. So you guys will be flipping a card or off the fate deck. I will control the fate deck, so I'll have that in digital form to flip. But you'll add those two together. If it is higher than the minion's attack, you guys are safe. If it's lower than, you'll take damage. And how much lower it is actually impacts how much damage is dealt. So, and that's when playing your twist cards and things like that come into play. But let's keep going. Willpower is equal to 2 plus the character's centering skill or tenacity aspect. So up top, Clarissa, tell us about your willpower.
My willpower is 4.
That's a good willpower. That's nice. Caitlin?
Also a 4.
Also a 4. Lauren?
Mine's a 2.
Not so bad. And Matthew?
Willpower? Yeah. Mine is also a 2. So
Nice.
I'm right there with you.
Unite.
Hitting the baseline there. I like it. So initiative is equal to the character's speed aspect plus their ranks in notice. I like that. I like that it's not just physical speed, but also how alert you are at what's going on around you. Eric, how you doing, buddy? You look, you're fine.
We can talk. You're fine or you're confused. That could have been either one of those things. Yes, he's fine and confused. Precious baby.
We're getting through it. We've gotten.
Matthew, how's Eric doing? Like,
we've gotten to the point where we're getting through most of skills.
Okay.
you're broken. Oh, are you power playing?
No, he's broken in that he doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Listen, you picked up Jeremiah. You learned new stuff. Once we start playing this, it's going to be a lot easier. I appreciate you for sticking in there and focusing during character building.
Yeah.
I love you, man. You're doing great.
Proud of you, buddy. Okay.
Proud.
Let's talk initiative. Clarissa, tell us about your initiative.
My initiative is a 2.
It's a 2. Okay. Caitlin.
What were the initiative numbers again?
So it is your speed plus your ranks in notice.
That's what I thought. A 0.
Okay.
Because this woman has all attack all the time, but she dumb and may not honestly be aware there's a fight. She's absolutely that. Someone just went sailing past me. Bar fight? Actual fight. Actual fight. Like, I like when skills give you reasons to build character things on top instead of the other way around, which is I'm gonna make this strong and make it what I already want. I had no concept going into this, so I get to have fun with here's what this skill is. I think this is why.
Nice.
Personality is coming into play.
All right. Lauren.
That second part, where do we find that part? That's the part that's confusing me right now.
Your notice skill.
If you pick up the skill.
So
if you pick that skill. Got you. Okay. So then I'm a 3.
Okay.
That's why mine is 0, is because I have no speed and I didn't pick up the skill. So
there you go. Matthew.
I only have because it's just your speed plus that, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Mine is a 6.
Going first. Sounds good.
he knows there's trouble. He starts the trouble. That's why.
Because I was that, but also I'm trained in notice, and I'm a speedy boy. So
Nicely done. Well, there's trouble right here in River City, my friends.
exactly.
Right here.
After initiative, we have wounds, 4 plus your character's toughness skill. So, Clarissa.
I've got it. 6.
A 6? That sounds pretty good. So I believe your wounds is the amount of damage you can take before you start taking critical hits. And critical hits start applying negatives to skills, and you can lose limbs and have to put pneumatic mechanical things on them and all sorts of stuff like that. So, Caitlin. Wounds. How many wounds?
Yes, also 6.
6. Lauren.
4.
4. Matthew.
Also a 4.
All right.
Lauren and I are, we're like this.
Simpatico. You guys are right there together. Nicely done.
Hell yeah.
So walk is equal to 4 plus half the character's speed aspect, rounded in favor of the character, so rounded up, or 2-0 if, anyway. So, how's your speed? How's your walk?
5.
5. Caitlin.
A 4.
E4. Lauren.
6.
Nice. Matthew.
A 5.
A 5. All right. Looking good there. Charge is equal to that plus the character's speed aspect. These are probably pretty close. Larissa? 5. Didn't hear it, but we can read those lips. There we go. Caitlin.
Plus I have no speed, so.
So 4.
So also 4. Yeah, that's
So
what I thought.
4.
I was like, those are the same numbers last time. Just
Yes.
good. That's why. That's why they're the same numbers.
Lauren?
9.
Good lord.
Wait, what?
What are you?
My speed is 3.
Oh my god.
So it should be
Okay, so
7.
yours should be 7. It should be 7.
7.
But you said the walk plus the speed, no?
Not the walk. So it's 4 plus the full speed. Not your walk plus your speed.
My bad.
Yeah, no.
4 plus half speed charges 4.
I was like, what the fuck? She's a like Olympian speeder. What the hell is going on? That's amazing.
Also, thank you to the follow, sub, and or whatever set off the blingy noise. You guys are awesome.
Follow!
Yeah, thank you for follow. Okay, Matthew.
Mine is a 6.
6. All right, you guys are all adults. You got a height of 2. I don't care. Suck it up. Deal with it. That's what it is.
Again, it's the range of the medium. It's the medium creature of MALIFAUX.
Yeah.
So you can be anywhere from 4'1" to 6'5", I think, and
Yeah.
be in that range.
I think most goblins are like a 1. The masters are like a 2. Lenny's a 3. So he's like a giant goblin. There we go. Characteristics defined. There you go. There's that.
Did you do armor? Or?
We have not done armor yet. Armor is impacted by your equipment, so we're one step away from equipment, and then we're actually pretty close to wrapping.
I think I finally got all my skills nailed down. I have all my, got all my aspects done. Station, pursuits, all of that shit
Nice.
is in.
Nice.
Is there.
Yeah.
Boom. Dance party.
Now, step 12. Everybody gets 1 general talent. This is in addition to the... Yeah, there you go. This is in addition to the talent that you get at the rank 0 for your pursuit. So, let's skip on over to talent.
The second page of the fillable sheet, by the way,
Yeah.
for anyone following along.
General talents over here. Bloop. And is there like a list, or do I just have to? Nope. General. I'm gonna say these words. We're gonna see what they mean.
What page is this talent thing on, by the way, so
215.
that we can? 250. Thank you.
215.
215. Got
Yes. 215.
it. Okay, just made it worse.
215.
I failed Spanish 101 4 times. Thank you for not speaking Spanish.
You're welcome. All right, here we go. So you probably
A
can't.
relationship would be so hard if you just spoke Spanish when you were mad or like talking to your family. I would just be anxious all the time, and I'm already anxious all the time.
Okay. I love you, babe. All right.
Me too.
So, advanced training, you choose a skill with rank 5. Don't think anybody can take that one, so we're going to skip past that. Armor training, no requirements there. Sounds like you get some better armor. That's cool. Back to the wall, you have to have a tenacity of 2 or higher. Looks like you get a bonus of to defense when you've got like wall or cover right there. Better part of valor, if you have a low tenacity, you have a tenacity of -1. I think you can run away faster. You can. Yeah.
Quickly, someone who is not Cody, what page is this on? Because it took me to triggers. Sometimes the PDFs work differently.
217.
Thank you.
If you ever ask me the
217.
if you ever ask
Sorry.
me the book page, I look at what's in the corner on the PDF. So that,
Okay, I'm looking in the PDF viewer at the page numbers on the top. Thank you.
Yeah, I always reference the actual like book page because there are times where we have like for D&D 5e we have the physical books, so I always reference that so that people that have the actual books can flip to them. So that is better part of valor. Let's see, blissful ignorance. If you got some low cunning, yeah. When this character fails a horror duel, if it is her turn, her current action immediately fails, but she does not become paralyzed. If it's not her turn, she becomes slow instead of paralyzed. So you can actually get benefits for being bad at things.
I like that about this system.
Yeah, me too.
I like that it allows a natural, organic, understandable balance for having. I'm gonna make a My Little Pony reference here. When they all play buckball and like 2 of them are really, really good at these things, but Snails, his entire talent is he just doesn't think about it and he's just real slow, which means he's so chill, he just kind of like no stress and catches these things. He's so good at the game, but he's just not thinking about it. Like, that's what these feel like. Is like, you never expected it. He's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's so sweet. But he's so good at this game because he doesn't think about anything. He just, there's a ball, I'm going to get it. Not, I'm worried about everything. Like, nope. Talent in something that usually doesn't look like a talent, so.
Yeah. So call shot, you get some extra aiming and critical effects with it, which is nice. Calm and collected, if you got a low speed, you get extra when you focus. So that's cool. And focus basically gives you like advantage on card flips for a specific talent or what you're doing. Clear orders. I don't think any of you have a leadership of 3 or higher, do you? Nah, doesn't sound like you guys. Combat reading, cunning, 1 or higher.
Bite me.
This character is able to read a target's combat during, so you get disengaging strikes or extra bonuses to those. Counter spell, got to have counter spelling of 3 or higher. I think you're just better at that. That sounds good to me. Critical, I'm going to just start saying the names and we can kind of talk about things if you guys want. So critical strikes, cynic for low charm, defense protocol, that's for leadership. Duck and cover for all those with the high evades. Flick of the wrist for a low might. What is that? Melee attack, pugilism. Ah, that lets you put your grace in place of your might.
So here's the frustrating thing about my entire build. My grace and might are both 0s, so that won't matter for me, but pugilism is my highest skill. I basically, because resilience and tenacity were so strong, I basically took the mentality of, boy, she can take a lot of hits, so she gets in there and gives a lot. She may not be the best at it, but she can outlast people in bare knuckle boxing. But like the thing that helps there is like, oh, might have negative. Also, it doesn't matter.
Well, there's plenty of things for people that have positive
I know it
skills
is.
as
I like
well.
it.
Governor's Gift is the next one. Great Fate. Ooh. You get an extra card at the end of the prologue, which is pretty cool. Gruesome Attack, which just does some extra damage. Gruff, with some terrible charm, hobbling attack for close combat or range. Lets you do some special attacks there. Honest for low cunning. Imposing mass for low grace. Let me show you with a high leadership. Open hand fighting, a melee 3 or higher, which sounds pretty cool. Paired weapons, close combat or ranged combat with a skill of 3. Plain spoken for those of you with a low intellect. Polyglot for those of you with a high intellect. Quick study, +1 intellect, rush, +1 speed. Secretive spellcasting. You have to have magical theory, but I think that lets you cast spells with making it harder to notice, which is nice. Seize the day, low on grace. Shot studies, so a shotgun, a 3 in your shotgun skill required for that one. Shove aside for might +1, shrug off, resilience -1, specialized skill. Fate master character. Okay, so that's nope. That's for me, not for you. Don't know why it's listed. Sucks to suck. Specialized toxins, speed loading, steam powered charge. Character must be a construct or possess 1 or more pneumatic limbs. That sounds cool. When you guys lose a limb, that'll be right there for you.
Bookmark this talent, y'all.
Sturdy, so that
Yep.
gives you +2 wounds. That's what you need.
I might do that too. Yeah, it's. Well, this character might not be. What? Yeah. I also like sure-footed the next one because it's. But I need to help explain. I need to read it over because I want to make sure I understand it.
Yeah.
Speed -1 or lower. This character might not move quickly, but she's also hard to budge. When this character is pushed or moved by an effect, she may apply her speed aspect as a penalty to the distance in yards that she is pushed or moved by the effect. So, like, if you have negative speed, I have a 0, so it doesn't matter. But like, they could slow down how far they get dragged.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Tenacious Warrior for the high resilience crowd. Threatening posture if you got some intimidation in you. Tricky Shot, Twisted Fates. That lets you do some crazy lucky things. Oh, that's the one that choose a card. Character's twist attack permanently increased by the value of 1 to a maximum of 13. That's interesting. Unassuming. Undermine confidence. Unequaled accuracy. Wall of muscle. And Will of Ages. Those are our general talents. Clarissa, what did you grab for your general talent?
You and I both grabbed combat reading.
Ooh.
Nice.
I am torn between sturdy and wall of muscle, because wall of muscle is legitimately how they met. My height would increase to 3. I would be a tall.
Yeah.
Real tall. She goes, yes. Tiny one says, yes, protect up there. So this character is both tall and wide, and she knows how to use her size to her advantage. Increase this character's height to 3. In addition, increase the range of all melee weapons wielded by this character by 1 yard to a maximum of 3 yards.
Yeah.
Fun part is, if this talent is taken after character creation, this is character creation, right?
Yes, this is.
And never mind, if I had taken it later, I have to have some sort of justification for the sudden growth spurt.
Yep.
So that would be a fun plot device of like, I ate some weird food last night, and there we go.
True. I mean, that or pneumatic limbs or mechanical pieces, all sorts of fun things.
I'm gonna just go against all of my types. I'm gonna go against all of my smalls that I usually am, and I'm just gonna be a wall of fucking muscle. Clarissa's dying. And of course you are, Eric. There's a talent that allows you to be tall in the game. And that's your entire tabletop personality. I've played with you for years. I know you. You can argue with me all you want, but you and I both know what this is. And Gloomhaven Night fam do too.
Wow. Wow, he says.
In the box next to the talent, there's 2 boxes on the talent sheet. There's a big long one and a square one. What are they for?
Let me look at the sheet.
Thank you.
You're
Like, are there numbers associated with Wall of Muscle that I need to like write in there that I don't know?
I believe it is. Come on. There you go. So, The small box would be probably for the name of the talent, and the large one for the description.
That makes sense.
That would be my assumption. And we are on to equipment. Now, everybody starts with 10 script, which is, I guess, old-timey MALIFAUX speak for dollar bills, y'all.
I killed a bug earlier. Are we doing that? That's just a
You're
disaster.
100 script now?
Do I get a lot of money?
Oh, God. It would be like one. It would be like one script.
I'll take one extra.
No.
It was a big fly. It's in the video, me just slamming over here.
Okay, all right. I'll give you one. For those of you that don't know, when I run games, there's a rule. If you kill a bug in a place inside, has to be inside, not outside, in a place that I could reasonably be at some point, I will give you in-game currency.
We have stopped entire shows to hunt bugs in the studio because they are obnoxious and they get in the way and they distract Cody to a hilarious extent.
That's true.
And now half of his chat with the team is just them sending him pictures of bugs they've killed.
Yep.
That's it's delightful and I love it.
Yep. So, yep, input your talents there. We are on to equipment. Let's jump into the breach over here, grabbing some equipment. So, actually, let me just read you what the equipment section says real quick. You start with the 10 guild script. That's the currency bought through the guild. Your character may also receive some starting equipment based on their chosen pursuit, as described by its starting bonus. Your character's starting bonus includes a grimoire. You must select a magical theory on page 251, as well as the magia and immuto included in the grimoire. Right. In addition to this, your character has a few things that are not listed, such as a place to live, some food, changes of clothing. What your character's equipment and clothing looks like is up to you. If you buy a ranged weapon, you gain enough ammunition for 5 full reloads or 10 rounds included in the cost of the weapon. So you don't have to worry about like basics, food and clothing and that sort of stuff. The day-to-day living stuff is covered.
Also, thank you, MALIFAUX, for knowing that role players like to have an aesthetic and letting us decide what that is.
So, looking at equipment over here, there are a couple of things that are probably important. So, skill toolkits are one part for crafting, but also for doing certain challenges, right? And they kind of break them down by the skill block, right? So magical toolkits, social toolkits, crafting, expertise, those sorts of things. Those cost 25. So let's just get past that. Y'all don't need none of that nonsense.
Not for a while.
Yeah. I know a couple of you guys took some bonuses in flexible weapons, so probably can't buy that barbed whip yet, but a driving whip is pretty cool. You can straight up buy a flail for every $1 you have, so that's a big commitment to flailing. A garrote, if you want to choke somebody out, that's what you grabbed.
It's got so many specials and it only costs 1? Mm-hmm. It has so many things. Oh, everyone needs to buy one. Everyone on this team needs a garrote.
You're all gonna be Agent 47. That's all I can picture at this point. Up next is a lasso. Good old-fashioned lasso. Yeah, nicely done.
You're a farm girl. If you don't have one, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
I also took one because they're lit.
Well, you're a farm girl too. It's okay.
True.
Yeah. Heavy melee weapons are... We got flexible weapons, heavy melee weapons, bayonet to go on your rifle, a breaching axe, just a big-ass fire axe, A great spear, a great sword, a polearm, rail hammer for driving railroad spikes, and a staff. Old-timey staff. Normal melee weapons, we got a bayonet on a pistol, hunting knife, club, hand axe, javelin, sword, and truncheon. So, what I would like to give you guys a quick heads up on that might be helpful and or interesting to know is the damage ratings that are on there.
Is that a ranged damage rating or a skilled, like what are the 1, 3, 4? I assume looking at it, it's like 1 if you're not skilled, 3 if you're skilled, but no.
So what it is by what great a margin you this is how damage flips work. You have we both flip you flip your attack. And we compare it to the defense, right? So if my character has a defense of 10 and your total with your adjusted value and your card is a 10, you have tied, right? And so you will flip 2 cards off of the fate deck. You will take the lower. If that is a low card, a 1 through 5, I believe you take the first number. If it is a 6 through 10, 6 through 9, one of those, you take the second number. If it is a high number, if it's a face card, basically, you get the third number. If your attack versus my defense, if you beat the defense by 1 to 5, you flip. Oh, I apologize. The first one you flip 3 cards, you take the lowest. The second one you flip 2 cards, you take the lowest. If you beat the defense by 6 to 10, no bonus cards, just 1 flat card. And if you beat it by 11 or more, you get 2 cards and you take the higher. You get advantage on the damage flip. So dealing damage is flip to see if you hit, and then you flip to see which of those numbers you apply in damage. Does that make any sense?
Yes, and I think it will make more sense in gameplay.
It
is a thing I understand conceptually. It'll take a minute to get it regularly right, the process.
Yeah, it will. But think about it this way. So when you, in D&D terms, the first flip is to see if you hit. And then the next flip, is basically like rolling for damage. But instead of having a bunch of different numbers on the die, the numbers are either the first number, second number, or third number, right? And that's determining how much damage is applied. So, back to weapons. Here we go. A truncheon. What's a truncheon? It's a club, right? Isn't it just like a blackjack? Isn't it just a dumb version of a club?
I will explain it here. Truncheon is a staple of constabulary forces across the world, and the guild is no exception. The truncheons employed by the guild are designed to stun and confuse enemies that the guild would rather capture alive. I honestly feel like that's a me weapon, probably.
It's that little weird old-timey copper stick. That's a truncheon. Yeah. Pneumatic weapons. Oh God. There's a pneumatic bone saw.
Oh yeah. There is.
Well, I'm glad you guys can't afford any of that. We're gonna skip past that nonsense.
Everyone start killing bugs. We have 10. Lauren, we start with 10 script
start with
each.
10.
I have 11 because I killed a bug.
Rub it in, why don't you?
That extra one.
Because I throw them in real life, so that will be perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
Cody, I do actually have a question for you about
Please.
weapons. And you might have said this earlier. I apologize. So, whenever we are writing down our weapon, it has a section for our AV.
Yes.
Is that just the AV from our associated skill, a la for my driving whip? Is it just my flexible weapons skill added value? Or do I add something else to that?
No, I believe that's it. Yeah, I
Got
am.
it.
I am pretty sure. The one question I would have is if I believe all of the descriptions of like what skills and aspects go with what are in the skill, not in the weapon listed.
Got
So
it.
I believe that is exactly what it is. It should just be the AV.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So we got some knuckle weapons up there next. Archery weapons. Those are fun times. And more on the expensive side. Somebody could grab a short bow if you wanted. I know that the ranges in this game are base numbers. They're calculated in yards. Do you guys want to talk in yards, or do you want to talk in 5-foot increments, a la D&D? That 5. I see one vote for 5, 2 votes for 5. It's roughly the same. Like, it's not terribly different. So I'm cool with 5-foot increments. That's just the shared language I have. So, you know. Okay. We got bows. We got heavy guns. Yeah, those are crap ton expensive, aren't they? Nicely done there. Long arms. Nobody. Oh, you guys can afford a couple of long arms. A musketoon. Ooh, what the hell's that? And a Hawken rifle. So, have fun. Pistol weapons. Those are, yeah, I'm sure going to be very useful for most people. Shotguns, pretty expensive. There's a cheap one down there, though. And, yeah. Then there are prices for ammo for everything, but you guys do have starting ammo. So, there's that. There's a modification section. I think we are not going to worry about that at character creation. Anyway, you can either pay for modifications, or everything that's listed in the skill column is the skill rating you need to build or create that item. Right?
I think also to modify it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. That is correct.
Also, do we need a skill in that number to wield that weapon?
No.
What does the skill number do then?
The skill number is for crafting that weapon.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. I was like, so for the I'm hoping you have the answer to this because I read the section and it doesn't. So the knuckle duster, damage is special. I read the knuckle duster's description. Knuckle dusters are essentially brass knuckles. They allow the wearer to focus and concentrate the force of her unarmed attacks, turning even a simple punch into a dangerous strike. So does that just mean I like get advantage on punches with those? Like, what does that do? Because it just says special for the damage. So I was hoping that the DM would have more information. If not, I will try to search further in. But
so I do not know off the top of my head. What I know is that it is going to, your damage with those weapons are probably based on your might, and then it is going to increase that in some way.
Good.
But off the top of my head, I have not in this game encountered that yet.
Hang on, I have weapon special rules. It's an entire page.
It does not have that specific special.
Ah, shit. Okay. Well,
You can look through it. Tell me if I am wrong, because Lord, I hope I am, and that it is easy to
because
find.
it said it turns simple things into a deadly strike, and deadly is a thing.
Okay.
This weapon automatically gains plus ram to the attack flip. So that is.
It would list that under the traits.
Yeah,
Got it.
it would say deadly.
Thank you. Well, I do have the other punchables are fist load, pugilism, and martial arts attacks, which I have trained in both. Made with this weapon, ignore the 1 on the damage flip. Ignore 1 card on the damage flip. 1 negative. Thank you. I was like, what are you? 1 negative on the damage flip. So that's cool.
That is cool. I'm going back to those fist weapons.
They seem smart for
Mm-hmm.
A, I feel like I could get away with big weapon because constable, but B, because cop background, but whether or not she's actually on the force herself remains to be seen. But the concealable thing is big, feels important. If mercenaries are persona non grata right now, and we're doing mercenary adjacent things, the chance to hide something is always nice. For those of us who don't have magic.
So, yes. Somebody take us through armor. Matthew, tell us about the armor. Or somebody.
So armor, I'll get to you in just a second, Eric. I'm very sorry. So armor, basically, armor is interesting in this system in that it is slightly different from like standard D&D 5th edition, where the heavier your armor is, the more likely it is that you'll get hit, but you take less damage each time you get hit. And so most people in MALIFAUX walk around not wearing any armor, just in regular ass clothes. And then there's 4 different, I think 4, maybe 3, levels of armor.
3 armor categories.
Perfect. You can choose, basically it's protected, which protects you from the first critical, like bad critical effect based on a certain suit of cards. If you flip something up and it's a critical, like critical damage towards you, it'll protect you from that first level of it. The second one is light, which I think lowers your armor by 1, and then increases something else by 1 to stop you.
It gains the armor +1 ability.
Yep. And then you can then choose heavy, which makes you even more armored. But like I said, most people in MALIFAUX don't wear any armor. I got some trail gloves so that I am protected from a critical effect, but I did not have to lower my armor at all.
Nice.
So, Clarissa, did you grab any armor? Or weapons? What is your equipment? Tell us about everything.
Sure. So since she's a farm gal, she knows all about flexible weapons, so she got a garrote and a lasso. Because she, killing people.
Got a hog tie 'em. I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then equipment, she got some Aventail, which is like, when the knights have their helmets, then they have like the chainmail around their necks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really fashionable armor necklace.
Ooh.
And I think that's everything that I bought. Yeah, and then she also has a grimoire. No, it's grimoire. Yeah. I don't know how words work. Matthew, you were right.
We will dive.
Correct. Yep, that's correct. Yes.
MOIRE. Yeah. I talk for a living. Wow.
We'll dig into spellcasting and magia in a moment. Matthew, do you have a moment to tell us what you picked up?
Yes. So I picked up So my starting class gave me a non-magical skill toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
And the toolkits they're split into a couple of different categories, basically the same way that skills are.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not for the category, it is for a specific skill. So I chose a gambling skill toolkit, which just makes me even better at gambling. I'm already pretty dang good at. So, and then other than that, I took a driving whip and a lasso so that I had some flexible options for being in melee or having a ranged option.
Nice.
And then because I'm an Ortega, I took a pistol because I'm already trained in that. And then I took trail gloves as my armor, which again just gives me a protection against a critical with a specific suit. I don't remember which one. I think crows. And I think I have 1 script left. So I thought about picking up a garrote, I don't remember. But
then you looked it up?
But then I think I'm just going to stay poor so that I at least have 1 script to play with.
I have to take a moment to appreciate this book. Because I know this is what the places are actually called and the times and the everything, but I'm just reading the protected. The first critical damage generated noted suit during each dramatic time. Just the fact that it's called, we're having our dramatic time, just like makes me smile like it's nap time, but it's dramatic time. So
Yep.
I took some gauntlets.
What else? Who else has their equipment set up?
Okay, so I just picked like, is it bad to not pick any armor?
No.
That is so normal.
Yeah.
I'm speedy, so
Yeah, you can outrun anyone with armor. It's fine. They won't see you.
I'm a mercenary, so I figured I need a lot of weapons. So I got the hand axe, hunting knife, the garrote, and then the A&T Draken, the pistol. I'm strapped.
Very cool.
I'm poor, but I've got lots of weapons.
But you
to
can
make money.
kill someone for their money, so it's fine.
Yes.
I just really want a fuel tank, but I feel like that's unnecessary and expensive. But the fact that we can have flamethrowers eventually brings me great joy. Let's just pool our money. 3 of us pool our 10, and one of us will have a flamethrower.
Just one flamethrower.
Just one between the 3 of us. Everyone stand behind me. I'm tall.
Oh man.
Not a bad plan. Not the worst plan we've had on this channel.
It is not. It is not the worst plan that you guys have had on the channel.
Not even close.
That is very, very true.
Is that a challenge?
Ooh. That is a challenge. Yeah.
It is actually. And given how this group is already shaping up, yes, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this nonsense to happen and us all to look at each other and be like, no, that's the worst plan we've ever had on this channel. But we've had some really bad plans. You don't even know, Clarissa. I drank a water elemental once. That is how I killed it. I drank it. I keg stand drank it.
I've had a party give a dragon a gun, so.
But crazier than that, I feel like we could go here. Like, yeah.
So,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
that is, yeah, we are ready for that. So I found the answer to the unarmed damage question. At least
Yes, thank
part
you.
of it. Okay. So on page, and this is the PDF page, starts talking close combat skills on 174. Your ranks in things like grappling, martial arts, pugilism determines the unarmed damage that you can do. So the knuckle dusters don't add to the damage. What they do is give you those extra keywords that that they have there.
Got it.
So pugilism attacks deal variable damage as determined by the character's ranks in the skill. So the more
But the fist load thing is still a thing that they have.
the fist load, yeah, you still gain the benefits of
Yeah.
fist load and anything else. But that's why it doesn't give you a damage number, because it's
Thank you.
pulling the damage number based on your ranks in pugilism. And you said you had 3 ranks in
3.
pugilism?
Yeah, that's
So-
why I was looking at that. I was like, I need
Yeah.
to be able to punch.
Which is great. So when you paunch, you deal, your lowest is 1, your medium is 3, your severe is 4. So there you go. Okay, we got through equipment, right? And I think our last thing is twist deck. I'm getting back to character creation as I navigate this book like I know what I'm doing. I don't. So, character creation, or twist deck creation. This is, you're going to create a 13 card suit, essentially, a 13 card deck that is just for you as a player. You have, one of the things it talks about in here is knowing your triggers, and every skill and every weapon basically have triggers, special things that happen depending on the suit that is flipped up. Most of those suits are going to come from the Fate deck, but you have some control because you are fated, in that you can play cards from your control hand, from your Fate hand, and you may want a specific suit to have more plentiful cards, and so that would be your defining suit. Ram, and on page 80, it does sort of tell you about the what the suits sort of do as far as impacting them. But basically, you're going to pick a defining suit that is going to be, so if you say pick tomes as your defining suit, 1, 5, 9, and your king, or your top card, your 13, is going to come from that suit. Then there's the center suit, 3, 7, 11, ascending, 4, 8, 12, and descending, 2, 6, 10. And that's how you end up with 13 cards for your twist deck. Does that make any bit of sense? Okay. Lauren, did I lose you? No, you're good. All right, awesome.
You what?
Sorry, I'm reading the descriptions of all the suits right now.
Would you like to read them?
Appreciate it.
Would you like to read them to us? Would you like to give us a dramatic reading?
Would you like to share with the class?
Or there's four of you. Why don't you all do one? How would that be?
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the page 80. Yeah. It says a twist deck is made up of 13 cards of various suits. Each of the 4 suits of MALIFAUX must be represented: rams, crows, tomes, and masks. So the suit of the rams represents order. It is a suit of active force and sustained effort, which makes it the suit that has come to represent the guild. They force their way into MALIFAUX, imposing their own laws and will upon the land, and began tearing up the world to get what they wanted, namely soulstones.
Up next is crows. I think, Caitlin, why don't you give us a crow reading?
The suit of crows represents entropy. I have to do the Crow King's court voice. I'm sorry it's happening, and I broke Clarissa. It is a suit of decay and corruption, and it has become emblematic in the Resurrectionists. They pick through crypts and graveyards for corpses, which they reanimate into shuffling horrors and terrible monsters.
Clarissa, since you're our dabbler, I think it's only right you read us the tomes.
Yes, the suit of tomes represents learning, understanding, and knowledge. It is the suit of education and the discovery of knowledge, and it has come to represent the Arcanists. They constantly push the boundaries of human understanding in an attempt to learn all they can about magic and the new world around them.
And Matthew, since you're our wastrel, our gambling man, you got to put on a good face for everybody. Tell us about the masks.
The suit of masks represents deception, trickery, and madness. It is the suit of secrets and beguilement, and it has come to represent the Neverborn. They are creatures of deceit, often capable of changing their physical forms to blend in with human society, and many of their abilities and powers are mysterious and unknowable.
Ah, very, very cool. So, that is the last thing you guys have for character creation. The only other thing I will tell you is that do make sure when your pursuit that you picked, you grabbed your level 0 talent, because you do get that anytime you pick a pursuit. So
in addition to the talents we picked earlier, we get an extra one.
Yep, and it's based on your talent. And the last thing I will dig through real quick. Clarissa, let's talk magic for a moment. I think you're my only spellcaster. Is that correct?
I think so. I don't know why I did it to myself, but it's on the name of story, so.
Yes, you do know. You absolutely know.
That's okay. So, you should have a magical theory.
I do.
What is your magical theory?
So I chose hedge magic, which basically means it deals a lot with the elements, and there's a bunch of natural things around you, and so the concept is you can disrupt. You can control those elements, and you can assert your power over them. There's a theory that's everything's in perfect balance, and then you disrupt the balance and things go crazy. But I chose the one where it's magic is asserting power over elements. Yeah.
That is very cool. So the magical theory, you have some benefits from them.
I do.
Would you like to tell us about them?
Yeah. I got to choose a single elemental Immuto, which kind of goes with the element thing. Whenever she casts a spell or manifested power, a single instance of the chosen Immuto is automatically applied to the spell or manifested power without increasing its TN. The Immuto affects any targets of the spell or manifested power, regardless of whether or not they suffer any damage. If the spell or manifested power has a duration, it's applied on initial casting, it doesn't get reapplied. It can lead to some odd effects, such as characters' healing spells inadvertently setting wounded characters on fire. Oh no. But at least it's a constant quirk of the character's magic that she can prepare for in advance.
That is very cool. So I'm going to skip over soul stones because those are used to modify things, and I am. We're gonna walk before we run. It is usually how I have that. Do you have a grimoire? A grimoire
Yes.
holds your spells. Grimoires are gained, same contain whatever magia and immuto the base master decides, right? Most grimoires contain 2 magia and 3 immuto. Well, I'll have to do some reading on that. So what is in your grimoire?
So my 2 magia are Elemental Engulf, which is basically exactly as it sounds. You are engulfing someone in an element, and then Heal, because someone has to do it.
Yes, absolutely. So Heal, I am on the spells. So Heal is cast with Cunning. It takes 1 action point. I believe you have 2 action points, and you can do some tactical action as well in tactical time. Target number of 7, so you have to flip to beat 7. Resisted by willpower, although I believe if you are healing a willing target, they can choose to fail the resist. Range of yard, so it's our cure wounds. You got to be in touch range. Living target gets healed 1, 2, or 3 damage. Each additional time the character is targeted by the spell within the same hour, regardless of success or failure, the target number increases by 3 or by a ram. You'd have to flip or cheat a ram card in there. And you had Elemental Engulf.
Yes.
Yeah, down there in the sorcery magia. Nice. Okay, cast with tenacity. I like that that magic can be cast with any of the mental aspects. I like that even tenacity can get you some magic in there, you know? So 7 of Tomes is the target number, resisted by willpower. Target suffers 1, 2, or 3 damage. Magia includes at least 1 elemental immuto. So immutos, I think, are things that just get, like, from what it sounds like, piled on. So,
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, what is your base elemental immuto on 276 that does not increase your target number?
I chose electric.
Electric, boogie woogie woogie woo.
So every time she heals someone, it's with electrocution, essentially.
Yes, yeah. There's always a little electricity pulsing through there.
A little shock.
Yeah.
But,
in addition, the spell does not randomize when shooting at an engaged target. So that's very cool. So you can shoot electric spells at people that are fighting in melee, and it won't accidentally randomly hit somebody else, which is very cool. And that's the only immuto you have right now?
well, I got 3 in my starting plus the elemental one.
Oh, so what are your other immutos?
So I have alter range, which means I can basically change the range I can cast a spell at.
Nice.
Increased damage, so I can alter the damage that something gives out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I chose blast, which that's another gaining damage immuto.
Yeah, so blast adds like an AoE sort of circle
Yeah.
bouncing off of it. So this is actually really cool now that I'm understanding it. So you can choose to enact those mutos, like what is it? The sorcerer thing that they do, meta magic. So they're essentially meta magic things that you add onto your spells. They do make it harder to cast for everyone except for your electric, because boogie woogie woogie. That's gonna happen. You just have to accept it.
All the time. Quickly,
Yes.
Lauren has to go. Do you have anything you have to add to her or get done before she leaves?
No, I think we finished character building.
Like,
yeah. I think. Oh, Matthew, what's up?
One
Yes.
last thing is skill triggers were very, very briefly mentioned.
Yes.
You do each get a skill trigger if you have the appropriate amount of ranks in your skills.
Yes.
So if you, for instance, if you're like, I think your root skills, like mine, was 3 and then a shit ton of 1s. Anything that you had a skill where it had a 3 as your starting stat before you added something else to it, you get what is called a skill trigger. And that's basically where you get to look at a list of things, and it has one for each suit. And whenever you're doing a test to see if you can pass that, if you flip a card and it has the matching suit to your trigger, you can say, I want to do that thing, and then you get an extra effect to happen. You can learn triggers later whenever you get a rank to 3. It's just harder. But they give you one for each skill that you had starting at 3 whenever you start your character. That's the only other thing, character building wise, to kind of consider before we really get into it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks everybody for everything tonight. So fun. Thank you, Cody. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
night.
Have fun.
You ninja person. Yeah, she so fast she just vanished off the screen. Eric would like to speak.
Yes. Mainly because we're working on it right now. Do we round for the math wounds? There we go. We're not going to tell the wounds number yet, Matthew, because I want to have fun with that when I review. We're not going to tell them how bad it is.
Oh.
We're not going to tell them how bad it is. Okay. It's resilience. If it's a 3, is it rounded up or down for the half portion?
Rounded to the character's benefit.
So it would
Up
be
to 2.
rounded up to 2, correct.
We're not going to be that bad. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I lied to you earlier, which is why I just corrected myself and that it's a 2.
We're going to surprise them. It's going to be great. It's going to be squishy, boy. It's going to be great.
It's silly.
I'm gonna go back to silence now. Bye.
You're okay as long as you're
You're
getting the
good.
build done.
Yeah.
We're
bud.
actually fairly close to finishing. He has to do equipment, and then his twist deck, and then we're done.
Nice.
What?
I mean, technically also skill triggers, but that can be decided later. But like, we've flown through it.
I'm just trying to pick my freaking extra 0 rank skill talent.
But
Talent.
What's your pursuit?
Guard. Oh, it's specifically to that?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. I was just looking at.
Yep. Nope, you're good. It is.
And actually, I
specifically for
wasn't
that.
even fucking looking at talents. I was looking at skills like an idiot. I was like, what am I gonna pick? I'm just gonna scour this, but I feel like I'm already there. And how do I have a 0 rank in a skill? And hi, it's been a long week. It's only Wednesday. This week has been.
So the talent you get is lasting challenge.
What is that? And thank you.
It is described on page 121.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Yep. Book page 121.
Ah! Yes! Good! Guard begins the game with 1 close combat weapon and any armor. I didn't have to pay for that? Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
These items cannot have a total combined value greater than 20.
Greater than 20, I see that.
Yeah.
And then also on the pursuit, Iron Tank. This is a cool thing. Are we talking? At some
Yeah.
point, I'd love to talk about all the pursuit stuff that we started with and what they do.
I would love to hear about all of it, please.
Would you? Yeah, I can do that now. So yes, the guard, because that changes things. It's good to know. Yes, starting guard begins. I will do that on the pursuit. Iron Tank. When this character fails a close combat duel during dramatic time, she may draw a card. During the epilogue, a character on this pursuit may advance in any close combat skill, in addition to those skill advancement options presented by the Fate Master. I am so glad even pre-guard stuff, I picked so many close combat skills as my root skills, and a couple as my endeavors. I was like, this is my jam, like, let's go. So cool. That makes me happy.
Who else wants to tell us about it? Larissa.
Mine's not very exciting because I just started with the grimoire, and then I started with something called Imbue Protection.
What is that?
Which means this character may target a friendly character within 1 yard and may discard a card. If she does so, the target gains the following condition for 5 minutes. +1. And then so imbued protection +1. When this character suffers damage, reduce the damage suffered by +1 to a minimum of 0. Cool?
Yeah, that is very cool.
So I can say I can protect someone with magic.
That's awesome. That is very, very helpful. The abjuration in there. So, talking about some of these in pursuit things. So character advancement. This is the way character advancement works. As the character participates in the story, basically during the epilogue of each session, the character will have an opportunity to increase their skills and advance along their chosen pursuit, right? The first thing that happens is you're going to pick up a rank in the pursuit that you are on currently, the one you chose for this session. So you advance 1 step along that pursuit, you're going to gain the listed talent or general talent if that's what's listed there. Often characters will be presented with a choice. You're going to make one of those two, right? If the session focuses around the character and their relationship to a certain advanced pursuit, the character instead may choose an advanced one to advance 1 step along that advanced pursuit. Those are special. We're not going to dig into those anytime soon. After advancing along their pursuit, each fated character that played in the session gains 1 experience. Characters may spend their experience points during the skill advancement step to save them for future advancements. Advancing a skill becomes more expensive as its ranks increase, so characters who wish to advance skills they already have high ranks in will want to save those up, right? Then we get to skill advancement. And this is interesting. So whatever pursuit you're on has the skill advancement option for you already. It then tells the Fate Master that I am going to outsource this to you. As we are playing, if you're flipping cards for a specific skill, I'd like you guys to make a little checkbox there, write it down. Basically, keep track of how many times you use a skill in a session. The 2 skills that you use the most often, or if there's a particular skill that has a great impact on the game, we'll go with that one. But that becomes an option for you to advance. You actually have to do stuff with a skill to even have the option to advance it, right? So if you've been saving up 5 experience points, you really want to pick up that 5th rank in pistols, but we didn't shoot anybody with a pistol this game. It's just not an option for you. Unless it's your pursuit. Your pursuit is always sort of the option.
I really like this. I like that system. It's interesting.
I like it too. I like that it determines what you are, what you do, gives you the options to increase. So
it also encourages the flexible gameplay where it's like, I could just stand and shoot the whole time, but I have other skills I need to level up. So like, I'm gonna change it up.
Yeah, exactly. If the character does not have any ranks in the chosen skill, gains 1 rank in the skill without having, what is this? Once the character has looked over all of the various possible avenues of skill advancement available to her, she may choose to advance in one of those skills. If the character does not have any ranks in the chosen skill, she gains 1 rank at that skill without having to spend any experience points. If the character has 1 or more ranks in the chosen skill, they may spend a number of experience points equal to the skill's current rank to increase its rank by 1. So, level 1 costs you nothing. Level 2 costs you 1. So on and so forth. Right? Finally, the character may choose to spend 1 experience point to learn a skill trigger for one of the skills with 3 or more ranks. Skill triggers are on page 190. So you can actually have a trigger in every suit for a particular skill.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it talks about campaign length. After that campaign, it says once the last person has their final destiny, you should probably wrap it up at that point. But I really like that advancement. So, how is everybody feeling? It is 10:11. We usually, our time frame is we play from about 8 to 11.
Eric's like he's almost done building. He's like ready to go.
He's so close.
Matthew and I are used to pretty much staying out this late. Clarissa, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
You should also see Eric is usually the one who has to go to bed early. We used to have him in on Gloomhaven nights, which there's no time limit on those games, by the way, because some of them are massive, massive, massive dungeons. And he once just like went and took a nap in the other room. Like he was like, I want to stay and keep playing, but I got a nap. So like, play me for a few minutes and I'll come back. Or it was Sherlock or something. Like we were having a massive gaming night and he was like, I'll be back. What was that, baby? Okay.
Yeah, there's plastic in my ice. I don't know why.
I'm concerned.
Me too.
About our fridge now?
Well, I think it was more the cup and or the ice. I don't really know, but yeah.
I'm glad you didn't drink it and that you're not dying now.
Me too. I'm super happy not to be dead either.
You
What
were
can I say?
really, really traumatic for all of us watching.
Yeah, don't want to pull a Moliere. Not like this.
No. Okay, I'm fighting Adobe. I just want to be able to add bookmarks to the page that I'm on. I want you to be added to the bookmark list. Ah! That's all. Technology complaints.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, does anybody want to tell us any other details about their character? Because other than buying time to flip some cards. Oh, Eric, go for it.
I got you. No, he's telling us to
Vamp.
Yeah.
We're vamping.
Vamp.
Clarissa's, go for it.
Go.
Caitlin and I have some backstory.
We do have some backstory. You want to tell the people?
So I'll do my elevator pitch of who my character is. So her name is Hazel Farmfolk, and she hates her last name. She grew up, so her station is Hermit. So she grew up with her grandparents, like on a farm, as cottagecore as you can get. And so they somehow got access to a soulstone because they're old and they wanted to use magic to help them do like the chores around the farm. And so Hazel always had an affinity for magic. Somehow the guild got wind that there was a soulstone being used, on Earth. Somehow it happened. She doesn't know how. And her grandparents got dragged away. She said, I'm going to fight those people. Jumped on the next train to MALIFAUX. Some crazy old lady told her her fate on the train based on my real life experience with somebody giving me intense words of warning when I was on a plane.
Oh, I was going to say based on New York subway crazies, but that's good too.
And the plane flying alone as a middle schooler. Old lady wanted to give me some advice about life in the creepiest way possible. Yeah.
Yikes.
And so what Caitlin and I came up with is that, so my character always had an affinity for magic on Earth. So when she arrived in MALIFAUX, there's all of the magical energy. So it just was trying to explode out of her. And so since the guild wants to regulate all magic, she got off the train and started like spazzing, and they didn't like it. And so Caitlin's character just meat shielded.
Enter Wall of Muscle, who doesn't like anyone who is against anyone overstepping bounds and is not quite lawful, obnoxious, not that level lawful good because she's definitely not all put together, but this is a stranger in town. This is a small farm bean. She's not even dressed like us. She's clearly new. How dare you? And so a human shield prop bodyguard relationship began. And also, while Hazel has gone off where she is going, even if they haven't officially stayed in touch, I'm working on that. Nameless guard tower woman has absolutely kept an eye on her, because this is a stranger who obviously doesn't know what she's doing yet, and is also easy on the eyes, which helps. But she could either end up being real dangerous or real dead real fast. The honor part of her goes, I'm gonna go check on her. Like, I'm fine. I'm gonna go check on her. Just make sure she's not dead. Okay.
Yeah, my character is morally questionable. As inspired by the fate she received, she is going to join the Arcanists. That's where she yeeted off to after she and Nameless Guard met. And so she wants to fight against the guild at all costs. Although she doesn't quite know that yet. She doesn't know how far she's going to go, but she's going to do it. So she's comfortable using and taking advantage of somebody who is a meat shield.
And dumb.
No.
But also, the heart of the, even if she knew she was being taken advantage of, she'd be like, but you're safe, right? But you're alive, right? Then that's okay. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Yeet me in front of people if it keeps you alive. Like, great. Like, she dumb. She precious. She too tall. She's femme grog.
Oh.
Paint a picture, that's who she is. She's femme grog. I don't even know if she reads. She could probably see spells in your grimoire and be like, interesting. I know how to recognize faces of criminals on wanted posters, and I can read the numbers on the dartboard for scoring. I know prices of things. What is that? Like, what are words? -3. I'm embracing that.
Okay.
My precious bean.
You're not the dumbest. -5 would be.
No, but I'm
dumbest.
still pretty down there. It's pretty far. Listen, it's pretty far. So and you already know my backstory of how I grew up, and I genuinely think she grew up with a misplaced sense of honor, especially considering where they are. And I think it's because she grew up, and I'm deciding this now and spitballing this, but it feels right. Improv when it goes well. I think it's because she dumb, and she was not the smartest kid. And so growing up hearing the braggart tales of other guards and cops and even prisoners about, well, I needed this for my family, whether or not it was real, she believed all of those things. She wholeheartedly believed and had faith that all these people were doing these things for good reasons. She is not cynical. She tries, so it's very hard for her to, she only has become not cynical, but brutal about things because she has seen the worst side of things as she grew up, but especially as a kid, she grew up with this, like, starry-eyed hope and belief in good and honor and, like, knights and glory, and she's trying to hold on to that, even though, especially because, again, things with my fate are also very, I have to make some big choices. And when you choose between the quill and the blade, which feels already like choosing between that Arcanist who's a scholar and my own path, possibly. I'm not sure. But that is going to be, so that is where I'm leaning, and how and why I'm justifying her keeping this positive faith in this weird place is belief in those kinds of tales. She may not be able to read them, but she heard King Arthur stories or the equivalent.
Sure.
And when people come from Earth who've never been to and they have stories of their own, and she hears about knights, and she hears about these things that maybe they don't have here, and slaying dragons and doing this stuff, and it sounds wonderful, and she wants to be that, but that's not a thing here. So as close as she is believing in people and hoping that they're doing the right thing and catching the people who maybe aren't. And yeah, that's what I've got. Thoughts, input, concerns, feedback. Okay.
Oh, but you're getting some thumbs up. It sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, cool. I'm part of stalling is asking for notes. Don't you know that?
Yeah, that is true.
That's fair.
We're
I have never
Eric
seen
is-
Eric this focused in my whole
He
life.
is so focused. I'm so proud of him.
I'm so proud of you, Eric.
Especially because pretty much anytime I've been like slightly pulled away, he's like, why have you stopped helping me? I'm ready to move on to the next thing. I'm like, what? Who is this man? And what has he done with the Eric that I played with once?
He
I'm
shaved
so
his
proud.
head and all of the chaos went with it.
Apparently.
Just focus. Focus, don't.
Honestly.
See, he didn't even, that's the thing, is he didn't even interrupt to say, this is charming, how dare you? Or something like,
Yeah.
That's
I'm just
true.
gonna say Eric's inner monologue, like I think he'd be responding in these situations. I'm sexy like Bruce Willis. This was meant to be like The Rock. I'm basically The Rock. I could bench press as much as Dwayne Johnson could. Those all feel.
Right. I think that's all correct.
I think so too.
Did we? And you guys probably talked about it, but
Sure.
I was busy and didn't think to ask. Do we want to talk about what we chose as our twist deck options for our defining?
Yeah. If you guys have built your twist decks, because you need to have your twist deck before we jump into anything,
Yes.
which looks like we may not be able to tonight, but that is okay.
Sorry. I feel I'd rather know all
Yeah,
of this
please.
mechanics and understand
Yeah.
all of our options. Yeah,
what I think we can do, I can at least do like a couple of example tests.
Yeah.
So that we can do. I don't think I want to go into like big narrative or anything like that. I'd rather just test a couple of mechanics out.
You may also, again, if you want to use
Club.
Clarissa as a test subject and just like run her through some tests, she is built, and or Matthew or whatever, and
Bruce is like, don't volunteer me for nonsense. Stop doing that.
Simulation rooms.
I've already done it, and I am the worst. Listen. I went back to our old secret library dynamic where I ask permission as a courtesy, but not for real. It's you wanna go hang out? I already airdropped my contact into your phone. It's fine. Like, can you give me that information? I'm already on your computer, but like, I figured I'd ask. So.
All right.
But you do anything you don't want to.
Asking, but no, not asking.
Who's got their twist deck set?
Me.
Tell me about it.
Well, so mine was very easy because I'm going hard into sorcery, and that's tomes. So that is my. I don't know the exact name for it. Defining, yes, that one. And then basically, I kind of went from there into like in descending order of what skills I needed. So I'm assuming the one that ends in 12 is your ascending.
I believe so.
So I did rams, and then my what is so it's
Center.
Center.
So you're defining, and then you're ascending, and then you're center, and then you're descending.
So my descending is crows, because she's not about the necromancy, and then center is masks.
Very cool.
While Eric is writing down his fate, I can talk about mine. So I decided to go ahead and go with masks as my first one,
Okay.
not just because it's gambling, but also because like Ortega's are all about hunting down shitty Neverborn, and so a lot of it is like being immersed in that knowledge of it, and kind of like not like becoming it, but like kind of liking it and seeing that side of everything. And then after that would be Rams, because that's just kind of like where everything came from growing up, is like the order that is tied with the having family that is vaguely tied with the guild.
Yeah.
And then a kind of a similar thing to Clarissa, like crows was down towards the bottom. And so it just wasn't something like necromancy wasn't really something that, and the resurrectionists wasn't really something that my dude was going to vibe with.
Sure.
So crows was going to be the descending, which meant that tomes could be center in case I ever decide to do sorcery, I guess.
There you go.
It's like not the worst, but it's not great.
I do appreciate that the triggers can be for any skill also. You know what I mean? So so that is very, very cool, having that set up. So, babe, do you have your twist deck?
I know what I think I know what I want to do. I may need a little help in this area. I may need some input. I may need some input.
Yeah. Please.
I do think that my Rams are going to be top.
Sure.
That honestly makes sense. Yes. So what I'm thinking is, but I'm again open to input. What I'm thinking is Rams top, in order top down. Then honestly, interestingly, I wanted masks to be my next, like, most prevalent thing because like infiltrating any kind of secret order or understanding what's happening in the underworld is also very important to her on the where she is on the order track. Those two I was considering inverting, which is one of my struggles. Like I was considering actually starting with masks because as she gets close to the underworld or to the back out or like whatever to, well, weirdly to make friends, but to understand and help or shut them down or whatever, that might be better for her, but I'm not sure if that is contra.
I think the Rams is your top suit.
Good, just making sure. Like that's what I was questioning myself on it, but I was probably overcomplicating it. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing something wrong there or like missed an opportunity. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, Rams and then masks and then crows and then tomes. She don't do lore. It's not a thing. She doesn't have the smarts. But the crows being in that I feel like the relationship with death with someone who is in that kind of career is complicated and not something that's pushed all the way to the bottom, but not something she's proud of necessarily. Yeah. And so that's what I'm going with it. Rams, masks, crows, tomes.
That sounds good. All right.
Second guessed myself a lot on that, and I went back and forth on it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I worried about I don't know why that specific, like the skills, that was much easier to figure out. Like all of those, armor, done, got it. Weapons, figured them out, done. This, my brain, because it said this is very important and can't be, so you should pay attention to this, and I went, okay, I will.
So I'm not gonna lie, it is most important if you are a magic user.
Thank God.
Like, if you are not a magic user, it is important for character building reasons, but most of the time, your triggers, like Cody said, can be assigned to any suit, so it's not quite as important if you were a regular Joe that doesn't do magic. If you do magic, each of the suits aligns itself to a specific, not just like thought of magic, but an actual specific thing. Like sorcery is one, necromancy is another, prestidigitation is another. So it's important that you want to have high numbers in the one that you do the most, that you are best at. But if you're not that, then just like, which ones fit your character? I don't know. Figure it out.
Because the character building here was so, this is what was holding me up. Because the character building here is so different than, like, you, even Cody discussed, he was like, not as important that you, like, pick the healing things. You could be whatever, like, you could decide. And that's been very flexible and very interesting and changing pursuits all the time, very interesting. But this specifically was the place where I hit the wall of, what if I'm a cleric who doesn't have Revivify? Like, what if this is, that's the, where I associated it, where I was like, what if I pick something dumb and because it's opposite of what I am and whatever. So that was the only reason that I was like, but I feel good now. Thank you so much.
All right.
Eric looks like he's getting close. He
Eric,
look-
Do you have a fate?
Actually, he's done.
He's done.
Technically, skill triggers have to be chosen, but that does not matter right now.
Later
He's done, my man. He's done it. He's made it through. I'm so proud of him. Eric, everybody. Round of applause
Yay.
for Eric, everybody.
Proud.
Well done. Eric, tell us about your character. We've waited all night. Let's hear it.
Okay, so my station. Oh wait, that's just the stuff that he told me what it means. Where's my stuff? Oh, I'm an administrator, meaning my parents worked hard, and they were for affluent people, which required a firm hand required on sites far removed from the seat of power. Don't know what that means, but it's stuff, and it's my character.
your parents were like
They were
assistants
affluent. That's all I know.
To yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
can't get you, Matthew.
But you'll find out later. Apparently, they weren't rich.
To rich people.
Oh.
Yeah,
Basically.
Oh, okay.
that's okay.
Oh, that's why they can give me that good stuff later on, and we'll talk about that later. Well, still salty about that.
Apparently.
So for body, I went with 0 on might, a 0 on grace, a +3 on my resilience was the final total, and a -2, and I am not a fast boy. My mind, I went -2 on intellect. Charm ended up being a +3 total.
Wow.
Wow.
Cunning ended up being a +1, and tenacity ended up being a -1.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. Allergies are shit right now.
You're right.
These are words I wrote. Okay, I can read them now.
Nailed
We
it.
didn't do armor. Was that a thing we should have done?
Yeah, I'll send you. It's like adding 2 numbers.
Yeah, I watched you. You were focusing
Okay.
really hard on other stuff while we were doing that. You're okay.
Okay. Defense is a 2 plus my -1 evade, my speed. Well, it got moved to evade because evade is a better score, so that's why it's -1, not -2. So it's a 1. Yay. Willpower is a.
I wasn't sure if defense. No, sorry. Defense caps out at lowest at 2. So your defense is a 2, even though you had negatives to it.
Spicy.
It's still a 2.
Yep.
Thank
Oh
God.
yeah, make that 1 a 2. Oh, don't worry, my defense doesn't matter because I don't care about dying.
No, it does not. He will never.
Willpower is 2 plus -1 for in my tenacity equaling 1. My wounds.
Willpower,
Is,
like
4.
defense, bottoms out at 2.
Oh, sweet spiciness.
Yep.
And right minimum.
Because technically
of
your centering skill is
this.
0.
Wounds. I'm a squishy boy, guys. It's 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus another 2, so I'm at a 14.
Boy has
So,
a wound for 14.
Fuck you.
So his
What?
defense does not matter because he will never die.
Listen, I'm going to hand over my job as a meat shield to this weirdo, and I apologize, Hazel. It was nice. It was nice to have that moment, but
No. Lauren and I will be stealing this one. She can have you.
the two of you are just behind that wall of blood and
yes.
gut.
And like he will get hit so
Yeah.
often, but it does not matter because his wound is so stupid high.
It's like the Weeble Wobble.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will let you know, though.
A very.
Not fall down.
I will let you know. Me and my character have just rallied together, and our new goal is to get more wound power than you. And I have a feeling that's going to be a constant pissing contest between how many hits I can take, bitch. Like, just trying to catch
Oh,
up.
this isn't even the most I could have gotten. We
Oh, I
did
hate you.
stuff. Like, we changed some things, and it actually affected and made it lower.
Changed
Because I
my
took
mind.
something.
Eric doesn't get to play anymore.
We just corrected some math because I read.
No. I'm talking about the toolkit.
Oh, that
Toolkit would have done it.
It wouldn't have affected your wounds.
Oh, I'm about to say if the toolkit. Let's say if the toolkit directly relates to toughness, that would have helped out.
But carry on, keep going.
Then walk is a solid 3, and since my charge can't be lower, it too is a 3. Otherwise, it would be a 2. My initiative is a -2. Spicy. I know. I will always go last, but I will still be standing. My height is a 78, so I actually made that number up myself. I'm actually the size of the planet itself, so there's that.
So now Eric really can't play because he can't go in anywhere or fit in the train to MALIFAUX. He is the breach. We're just gonna sit him on the side.
We go through air.
I didn't.
That sounds
I don't think
dirty.
anything
That
goes
sounds.
with that many wounds. Nothing goes through Eric. Okay.
No, it goes through. It just doesn't bother me.
Yeah, he's just not bothered.
The wounds never bothered me anyway.
My toughness is. Now we get to the stats at the bottom. My toughness is a solid 6. My bewitch. Ready this? I am a beefy boy, but I'm a beefy boy who could charm you. Bewitch is a 5. And you better believe I could crowd you with a 5 as well.
You can just list what the skills are. You don't have
Yeah,
to
we
go-
don't need to hate you for those numbers because boy, I already hate you for those numbers.
Oh, don't worry. I'll just lie to you about it with my deception of 4. My leadership of 4 as well. You know, because if I could talk good, I could probably lead good. Heavy melee is a 2. Shotgun is a 1. And just for some razzle dazzle, Matthew and I decided on prestidigitation, which is a solid 3. A little bit of razzle dazzle in there. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 3 in prestidigitation. I'm not a magic user, but I do this thing really cool.
Well, it's
Yeah.
theoretically, he might be capable of it at some point if something funky happens. But he's not. He's
Well,
not
my
good.
cunning allows me to say I rocket this, so we'll go with that. My current pursuit. Now this is gonna get spicy later on once we get other stuff. Oh, I'm probably talking too loud because my roommate just texted me. Yeah. Oh well. I hear them talk all night, so that's okay. My current pursuit is Drudge. So that means I get a spicy pneumatic limb just because I'm awesome and amazing.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool.
My pursuit, I don't know what this means, but on the pursuit is long days. Talent is hard worker. My general talent is sturdy. Guess what, Caitlin? That's a +2 to my wounds. Anyway.
That's already factored in.
I'm going
I
to murder you.
I know. I was just telling her.
I was so nice and proud of you, and then you took everything I was good at and you did it better. So I've changed my mind, and I'm going to come over to your house.
No,
and I'm going to
defense is better than
spray
mine.
your head with Gorilla Glue adhesive. You've learned it will never come off.
It will have zero effect, so go on.
Oh no, it's in that girl's skin. It will.
You don't know. There's nothing to glue down, so that it just makes it shiny, and then nothing grows out of it,
Never
so it's perfect. I know. I saw the thing. But yeah, that's +2 to my wounds.
What
my
limb
equipment,
did you take? Out of curiosity.
Huh?
What pneumatic limb did you take?
I took a full pneumatic limb because my parents are poor and can't afford the good stuff yet.
Okay.
Matthew.
This man was like,
ruining my fun.
"Yeah, I'll take an advanced full limb. It's 70 script." I was like, "No,
It's
no.
50.
Or
It's
50.
Still.
But I was like, "No, you get a maximum of 25 script, sir." And he's like,
Maximum of
But my
25
parents-
scripts, sir.
"But my
My name's
parents."
Matthew. I'm gonna pee all over your goddamn
No,
parade.
No.
But so which
Sure,
limb
oh, wait,
is
yeah.
my question? Is it your arm? Is it your leg?
Which limb?
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be my arm because, like, if I had a pneumatic leg, I'd actually be able to move, fast. So
Maybe it's because you only have one that you're so slow.
Well, a pneumatic, doesn't that just mean like it's? We'll see. I'll figure it out.
So I actually know a
It's arm.
person who has had this. There's a man who works at Hollywood Studios who he's a war vet and all these things, and they were putting, he is a missing both legs, and sweet man, and he was talking about how they were testing him in all of these different prosthetics and smart prosthetics, and he got like he was a hero and all these things, and he just retired to Disney for fun. But so he, like, they're testing him on this new tech for these self-propelling legs, but one of them didn't work, and he genuinely just went in a circle around himself because the other leg wouldn't keep up. He just and then they got the other one working, but he couldn't control himself, and they kept going, and he just into a wall. Like, he's like, the calibration is a lot when you don't. They were great, but turn them off. He's like, I can't have these at work if they break. I will
Robots are trying
run
to kill
off
us
into
already.
a pier somewhere at Disney. Can't wear these at work. I'm gonna stick with a wheelchair. But that was fun. I was just listening at Jedi Training Academy, like, what? And he was so nice. He was like, yeah, this happened because I blew both my legs off with a landmine. Like, he was just so chill about it, but genuinely told a story about how in a circle because the one leg, the mechanics didn't keep up. So
Wow.
that can happen. Just by the way, Eric, it can absolutely happen where your real leg won't keep up with that one, and that is why you go slow, is because you genuinely cannot balance the two, the tech with your physical self.
Nah, I'm gonna have a giant right arm that's overcompensating for other things. Anyway,
You, Eric Level, overcompensates? Never.
no, I totally didn't make this guy 6'5". Anyway, my shotgun is going to be a blunderbuss, so that's going to be an adventure.
Okay.
Its exact term is a flintlock boomer 1894. And then I'm gonna have a staff because, you know, yin and yang.
Sure. Absolutely.
Also, I only had $1 left, and that was the only thing that comes with it.
Yeah, I get it.
My fate. Okay, I don't know what this means, but these are words that Matthew gave me. After what is dead has died, an exception will corrupt the rule. The rude rule. Which one was it? Rule.
Rule. Yes.
Rule. Okay, I'm about to say, saying it silently does not make me think I can read your lips. Make that an L.
Sorry, I forgot about push to talk.
Corrupt the rule, and you will pan the gutter's glitter. Which is a thing that's in the gutters, apparently. Well, glitter does belong in the gutters. Anyways, the other place beckons with the voice of oblivion, and she is part gore and part kin.
Can you read it all together
I
as
don't-
one without the commentary? Just straight through.
Read it.
I like a challenge,
If,
okay.
in case no one explained to you what this is your character's
didn't.
ending. This fate explains what happens to your character. You retire your character after this is fulfilled, however you as the player determine that it is fulfilled. It is vague by design, so that you can look at the pieces and go, oh my god, that's like when we did this, we just did this, kind of. Oh, it is the fortune teller telling you this is exactly how you go. So yeah, read it one more time for us, like a fortune. Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. I gotta get a voice then. Okay, great. Awesome.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're okay, let me get in character real quick.
Alternatively, Matthew just put it into chat. Cody, can you read Eric's fortune for us, please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Nope.
I want to read my own fortune. Okay. Fine. Rude.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
Do it.
But I'm not gonna do it in character now because you didn't give me time.
Do it.
After what is dead has died, an exception will corrupt the rule, and you will pan the gutter's glitter. The other place beckons with the voice of oblivion, and she is part gore and part kin. Which I don't like the sound of that last part at all.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. Those were words that were put together.
Yeah.
And then I have rankings, I guess, of stuff.
We don't need to know those.
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay.
That is, well done. I think you've got a very good handle on your character. So
Yeah, he's a beefy boy.
he is quite the beefy boy.
Again, you, Eric Level. What?
Hey, I'm shocked you didn't think I was going to go for a high damage character. I did not. I took all kinds of only defensive stats.
Yeah, I know you. It's actually not that surprising.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna call it a night for the stream. If people want to hang out, we'll flip a couple cards afterwards. But I think for now we are good. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Next week we get into the adventure. It does begin, whether people are ready for it or not. It's gonna happen. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We are gonna see you next time. But until then, be cool.